right at the back.
You know, I was actually just thinking about that. When you enter the front room, it's a lot easier just to grab the chair all the way up front.
The front? I know. Otherwise, it's like a journey to the front.
We're ready whenever you are.
Are you going to come up with me?
Sure.
It's okay. Official organizer.
Good roast.
Are we good to go?
Yep.
Okay, hi guys. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I am Diana Pastrana. I am your organizer here for 1 Million Cups, and we're getting things up and working. It looks like as far as presentation, maybe we're going to be winging it? Yeah, I think we're going to be winging it. Okay, all right. Well, Julianne is not here with us apparently this morning, and Michael is stepping down as an organizer, so we will have Josh take his place. Michael will still be attending for the next couple of weeks before he makes his move out to the West Coast, is where he's headed. But he just had a big project today, so he wasn't able to make it. But is anybody's first time at 1 Million Cups? Have you been here before? Okay, so just really briefly, 1 Million Cups, we kind of refer to ourselves as Dolphin Tank. We're not Shark Tank. We're here to give positive feedback and connect with entrepreneurs in the community and learn more about a company that is out there trying to develop their business. So we try to be supportive. We can thank our sponsors. Our space and our coffee is provided by Old National Bank, so we are grateful for that. And then the live stream from Field 59 has been a great source for both people who want to see, who can't make it out physically, but also for the entrepreneurs who present, so they can look at their own presentation skills and analyze that, as well as promote it out to businesses that may be interested in using their services as kind of a feature on what they do. So that's always much appreciated as well there. So I don't have any real announcements today, so I think we'll just kick off and get going instead of rambling on. But again, my name is Diana Pastrana. I am with M&M Office Interiors, a commercial interior company in the Middleton.
I'm Josh Helling. I'm an entrepreneur. My background's in software product development. I also consult with technology, around technology and product strategy with startups and growing companies.
Yes, you're first, well third.
My name is Dan LaCloche. My business is DLC, and I'm a content marketer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Shu. I work for Human Scale. We're an office ergonomics company, so we manufacture sit-stand desk chairs, everything to make you more healthy and active in the workplace.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, my name is Derek Rodriguez, entrepreneur, working in the technology area. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we're going rogue this time. Sorry, guys.
My name is Eliana Cherneva, and I work at Old National Bank as a private banker.
My name is Chuck Pita. I'm a student at the university as a computer science and computer engineering student. Thanks.
Steve Claude, co-founder of 32 Auctions.
Herb Peterson, the other co-founder of 32 Auctions, platform for hosting and managing silent auction fundraisers.
Just in time! This is my only slide, so it didn't really matter. Andy, do you want to?
Oh, I'm Andrew Gonzalez, a commercial banker here for Old National Bank.
I'm Derek Gebler, founder of Field 59, but now I'm part of townnews.com. So Field 59 is a product and service of townnews.com. We were recently acquired a couple weeks ago, and now we're going through the process of integration and onboarding and all that. And it's a very exciting time. So we'll still be a sponsor of 1 Million Cups for the foreseeable future. So good morning.
That's exciting news for you and us.
Yeah.
All right, and so with that, I can introduce Summer with Little Golden Shepherd.
Well, first of all, thank you so much to 1 Million Cups for inviting me to present. And thank you to all of you for coming here 8 in the morning. I mean, at my house, the kids start squawking about 8:30, so I wake up sometime around 8:30. So thank you so much for being here this early. My name is Summer Chobanu. I'm the founder of Little Golden Shepherd. We are a natural products company specializing in healing massage butters for pain relief, emotional balance, and infant massage. We are all natural and simple, so there's nothing synthetic or superfluous in anything that we make. And if you're wondering what on earth a massage butter is, it's a great question. Essentially, I've created a body butter that is solid at room temperature, but that melts on your skin to an oil that is perfect for massage. And as I present on the business that butter built, you'll notice I'm not really using slides. This is the only one. And it's because I believe our product is best appreciated by touching and smelling and sampling it for yourself. So we'll have an opportunity for you to do that. But first, I'd love to share just a little bit of our story and my heart for the business. To start with a confession, I don't have a business background. I did not grow up dreaming of becoming a CEO one day. I wanted to be an actress. In fact, my background is primarily in communications. My day job is a radio host here in Madison. I fell into this business because I saw a need. I grew up watching family members struggle with fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and over-medicate with chemicals, becoming all the more dependent on pharmaceuticals, and the more they used, the less they worked, and I figured there had to be a better way. And I'm very grateful to be living in an age of modern medicine. I mean, I think it's wonderful that there is so much we can cure and treat and prevent that 100 years ago was hopeless. But is it necessary in the day-to-day maintenance? As I began to study more herbal and natural remedies, and allow me to say this wasn't my background. I didn't grow up knowing or caring about natural alternatives. But when I found out that I was going to become a parent for the first time, that's when I really started diving into things for myself. Discovered radical things like cloth diapering and baby wearing, and the more I journeyed down the natural parenting path, the more excited I got. I got exposed to essential oils, the wonders of coconut oil and herbs, and I started studying as much as I could. Something just seemed to click. For thousands of years, man has used remedies that he's cultivated from his gardens and his pantries to cure and treat everyday ailments. And so I began to believe I could create something for my family that would help, that would maybe take the edge off a little bit, make it so they could rely on chemicals a little bit less. And so I spent the next 2 years working on a formula that has since helped hundreds of people. And I am not a biochemist, but I work with some who are. And I've seen our product really improve people's lives, and my heart is to see that continue. Today's consumer is increasingly savvy about the ingredients in their skincare products. They care about natural alternatives and wellness, which can be seen in the booming popularity of essential oils in the last 10 years. We like to say that our oils and our products are made with ingredients you can trust and pronounce. Each of our adult butters starts with arnica flowers, which has been used since medieval times to reduce pain and improve circulation, infused in organic extra virgin olive oil whipped together with organic or wild harvested shea butter, mango butter, kokum butter, coconut oil to create that body butter base. Therapeutic grade essential oils are then put into that in different combinations to target specific areas of need, and organic arrowroot powder is incorporated, so once on your skin, you're not left feeling greasy. Each of our adult butters here follows that formula. We have Nerve Butter, originally developed for a family member with fibromyalgia, but we've heard from customers who use that for migraines, menstrual cramps, if they slept wrong, they have a backache. That's really become our bread and butter. And then we have Joint Butter. This was designed for a cousin with arthritis who's very sensitive to menthol minty oils. That's a little bit spicier and earthier than a lot of what you'd find on the market. Muscle Butter is going to be more your classic minty butter to help after a strenuous workout, relieve soreness. We incorporate clove oil in that one to be numbing and kind of cut through that minty smell. And then Balance Butter. This is the one we've designed for emotional wellness. Very grounding oils, lavender, clary sage, cedarwood, patchouli, very uplifting oils, bergamot, and sweet orange. It's absolutely delightful. And then we have Baby Butter. This product's a little bit different for us. I definitely err on the side of safety, especially when it comes to kids. And the best herbalists will tell you that essential oils and arnica are way too strong for little ones. And so instead, I infuse marshmallow root, lavender, chamomile, and calendula into the base of this one to create something very soothing and gentle for even the littlest child. And instead of kokum butter, I use cocoa butter to give it its signature chocolatey smell. So I'll let you guys all try and play with those. But I created these products to help my family. Originally, I did not think of this as a business. It wasn't until a friend of mine said she wanted to purchase some of our products for her family that I saw the potential. So in January 2016, I launched a little Etsy store. At that time, we had many products, health and beauty products, selling them one-offs as orders came in. Moved to Madison, settled in, decided I wanted this to be something more. So I built littlegoldenShepherd.com, signed up for as many craft shows as I could, ran it as a side hustle for about a year, and then I decided I wanted to make it something more. And so I looked at all the products that we had and realized I needed to focus my attention on the one that was unique, the one that was truly helping people, and was our bestseller. And so I got rid of everything but our healing massage butters. I built a new website. I stripped down all of our social media and I started over. I opened the door to wholesaling and I launched a subscription club. And those last two areas are the ways I see our business truly growing into the future, and that is where my ask comes in. I don't have a business background, but what I've learned along the way has just inspired me and ignited a passion for entrepreneurship and that I'm excited to cultivate. But there's so much I don't know, and there's so much I don't know that I don't know. And I'm excited to be in a room with people much smarter than me who have a heart to share and collaborate. And so the biggest areas that we need support are in marketing and networking. We have a product, but we need people to know who we are and what we do. And so I'm looking for somebody or some buddies to help us develop a marketing strategy that will efficiently leverage our time and money, both of which are in short supply. So I just want to make sure I'm playing it smart in that realm. And then I would ask, as I've been presenting, if there's anybody that pops into your mind for whom our product seems like a good fit, whether it's a distributor or an individual customer, if you consider sharing that with me or even making an introduction, I'd really appreciate that. And together, I think we can make this into something really special. Thank you. Any questions for me?
First of all, you are so well spoken and calming. Like I'm just like feeling better already. So, thank you for a wonderful presentation. I have all kinds of ideas as far as venues. Are you looking at this as an e-commerce idea, or are you trying to get into stores, like Happy Bambino type stores? Like,
yeah. So we have our e-commerce site, which is still operational for those one-off orders. We have 2 retailers right now selling out of 3 unique locations. So Apple Wellness in Fishburg and Sun Prairie, and then Chunk of Buns, that is a natural parenting store online. They travel all over the country and take our products with them. We have a chiropractic clinic that's going to be joining us soon. Hopefully a massage parlor that's going to be signing on as well. They're in the process of sampling our products and therapeutic massage with their therapists. It's going good for them. And then we have about 5 other clients that we are either in conversations with or sampling with currently. So kind of a wide spectrum.
Have you ever heard of Grasshopper Goods?
I have not.
Okay, so they presented at 1 Million Cups. They're a traveling truck that has kind of high-end stuff, and they have everything from jewelry to accessories to lotions, stuff like that. And they go all over and they sell at different, like the Madison night market, stuff like that. So it would be probably a good introduction. And then the other thought I had is, have you ever heard of Boss Moms?
Yes.
Okay, that would be a good group for you to be in with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I met one of the individuals from Boss Moms at Happy recently.
I'll get you in that group.
Thank you.
I see lots of potential for it. And you're right, people, I did a lot of the natural, family raising of my children. I mean, at least for a little while, I was really into it. And there's a lot of stuff out there, but price tends to be a barrier of entry. How do you price out compared to other products similar to this?
Sure, and that's a great point. I mean, that's why I started making my own products. I couldn't afford what people were selling in the stores. So our 4-ounce size jar here of the adult butters is $22.50, and it lasts a very long time. And from what we've priced in the market, we're very comparable. We are not the cheapest, and we're far from being the most expensive. So we're very competitive in there, and it still allows for really good margins while allowing us to have really great quality ingredients. And then our baby butter is $15.50, and these usually last several months. And then if you were to do our subscription club, for example, that saves 20%. So that's kind of
I'm just curious from an e-commerce perspective, I know you have your own site. Are you also working through Amazon, or are you intentionally not? Is that something you haven't gotten
We
to
haven't branched into the Amazon handmade sphere yet. that's something on our radar. Right now we are running a Shopify platform.
Okay.
So yeah, no, that's something that I have been invited to by Amazon, and so looking at that and keeping that on. I haven't spent too much time exploring that in depth. Do you have any experience with that?
No, not specifically. I would just from a retail marketing perspective, it seems like it would kind of solve a lot of problems for you out of the gate. I mean, I'm sure at quite a cost, but just in terms of eyeballs looking for. I mean, I know if I wanted a thing, a new product category, that's probably my first stop.
Okay.
Right.
Great.
How long have you been selling your product?
Just over 2 years.
Okay.
So the Etsy store launched in January.
Do you know what your most popular product is? Or is it fairly evenly spread out?
Since relaunching with butters only, it's been pretty evenly distributed. Nerve butter probably still comes in at the top. For people who are interested but don't really have a specific general need, they seem to relate more to the muscle butter. So I can work out, that's fine. But baby butter is also really jumping up there in that list because that appeals to young moms. It's at a lower price point and everyone enjoys it. It smells like chocolate. So.
At this stage, I would definitely make sure that you're keeping in contact with people that are buying your products right now, finding out what they're using it for, what makes them buy your product over somebody else's, and honestly just keeping in good contact at this point helps people stay with it. I feel like a large portion of your revenue is going to be from people that are going to keep coming back if they really enjoy your product.
And that is very accurate. So we have sold to approximately 500 customers. 300 of those have said, hey, we love you, we want to be in your Insiders Club. So we have a mailing list that we send out special sales to, and we have been collecting some incredible testimonies that blow me away all the time, that we are looking for smart ways to leverage. I do have a filmmaker who's standing by ready to make a promotional video, but wanting to make sure I'm using that the right way and not wasting money and being smart about that. So that's something very important to us. That's good.
Very cool.
So when did you make that change to scale the business down to just the butter?
November 2017.
Okay.
So it's been
since that time, what have your gross sales been?
I'd have to look at that specifically. We have been focusing a lot on courting wholesalers. Has been really our focus since then. Those first accounts came in, the rest of them are a little slower coming. We brought in a couple $1,000s since November, and then once the rest of these sign on, as they should hopefully very soon, that will grow significantly.
So are there, because this, outside of your wholesale, you mentioned Amazon, and obviously those are pretty far reaching, rather than just a few niche places that are here in town. Who are you competing against? I mean, are there other companies that are similar to this that are peddling the same type of product? Or
Sure, that's a great question. So the natural market is growing, so there are other companies doing this. Our more direct competition are going to be those making creams and lotions for pain relief. So you have doTERRA's making Deep Blue. It's a muscle rub featuring essential oils, but they don't have arnica. Then you have Arnicare making a rub with arnica but not essential oils. Both of those products are water-based, so they require additional preservatives, often synthetic. Then you have products like Tiger Balm and Badger Balm, which are for pain relief, also often have a synthetic base and are not for massage. In the baby products realm, brands like Lusa and Mother Love have massage oils. Earth Mama Angel Baby has a massage lotion, again water-based, has essential oils, very limited herbal extracts. And brands like Burt's Bees and Tom's of Maine, they're not currently doing anything for pain relief, and those are really the best known wide-scale natural brands right now. So ours, from the research that I've done and going into all of the naturalistic stores in this area and further research than that, there's no one doing exactly what we're doing.
So, again, you said you're looking at networking and marketing. Are you focusing locally, or are you trying to get a much bigger piece of the pie?
Eventually, the goal is to get a much larger piece of the pie. We have started locally for a few reasons. One, to help us scale so that I can still manage to make the products as we continue to grow. And also to be able to connect with the community here. So it's been nice being able to do some local shows and actually meeting people face to face and making those connections. But definitely our goal is to blow the lid off this thing.
One observation is educating your customers and letting them see, I guess, through your vision. You just ran through a 1-minute spiel there where you were educating us on your product, why it's better, what, it's not water-based and whatever else, and expanding on that. I think then that really pulls them into your sphere to saying, well, then this is the product that I want. I wouldn't want those other products because they're less. So how are you going about doing that education outside of the one-on-one, going to fairs and stuff like that?
Yeah. So we definitely spend some time with that on our website, explaining the quality behind our product and why we do what we do. We have an FAQ section kind of educating people on the different aspects of our product as well. And then trying to structure in my mind what that promotional video is going to look like and the kind of information I want to include in that to make it interesting and something that could go viral, but also very educational. So that's something I'm also considering as well.
2 thoughts on that. One is, as consumers, we're all very lazy nowadays. We want everything to be just fed to us. So reading probably doesn't happen unless you have somebody that's really charged up and wants to learn every detail. So videos is definitely better, short videos. So I think if you focus a lot on that one promotional video because you're putting a lot of money into it, you're probably going to make it a little bit longer. So, another observation is leveraging social media, do short video clips of just educating and just keep the social media, the education train running. So I'd constantly be posting stuff out each week, Facebook or wherever your target audience is. And then through Facebook, you can also target people that are specifically into these type of products. I mean, you can drill down and specify certain attributes that you're looking for them to target those advertisements to, and just advertise your short videos.
And that is an area that I'm hoping to learn more and grow in and help strategize, because we've promoted posts before, we've put out live videos and stuff like that, and I feel like that's where my knowledge base kind of meets its end of knowing how to do that smartly. So that's something we're looking at.
I think the way to grow, though, is to do it. And not just do it once and say, oh, nobody watched my video. Because nobody's going to your first view. And it's not until you start getting more and more, you're going to slowly get some growth, but you got to keep doing it.
No, that's great. I like your idea about doing like a weekly thing, something very regular.
A few times, per week.
Yeah, very smart.
Who's your target clientele with this? I mean, obviously, you can say everybody, but for me personally, looking at, your logo, what you have set up is really neat, but it screams me like young mothers and individuals who are more conscientious maybe about what they're doing as they age or as their kids, what they're using for products for their kids. And so I'm wondering, are you buckling down on some sort of niche clientele as opposed to, say, going to a trade show for all these different venues? I'm sorry, this is kind of getting into a long question, but do you have a target clientele, and do you know how you're moving forward as approaching towards acquiring them?
Yeah, so I feel like that got derailed for us a little bit because we thought we knew our client, and then the more we saw people purchasing our product, we found, okay, she's older, she's a she, first of all, usually, and she's older, she's someone who has tried everything for her pain, and she just is over it, and she'll do whatever it takes if it'll help her, or she has a husband who's stubborn and won't go to the doctor, but if this will help him and help him live more naturally. And then when we introduced baby butter with the birth of my second child, that very much split. That clientele is definitely young hip mom who is into the natural trend, and that really let her into our other butters as well. So right now our customer base is very scattered. And so one thing that I do need to do is kind of refocus that and figure who am I targeting, and the periphery purchasers are just a bonus.
As far as your network and marketing, I feel like you'll be much more rewarding if you do figure out which side you want to go to and then put all of your efforts into that, as opposed to putting sort of, per se, I don't want to say mediocre, but relatively lessened standards on both parties.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that elderly people are a target market for you?
That is a large portion of our customer base, which again was a little surprising to me because we had really pushed everything onto social media, have a super aesthetic Instagram. That was kind of what we were doing. But then when it comes to these events where we're out in public, the people purchasing 50 plus, and by plus I mean plus, a lot of very older customers or people buying for their older grandparents. And so what we have is an ambassador in Illinois who is an activities consultant for aging adults. And so she's incorporated Little Golden Shepherd into her practice as well. So she goes as a caregiving consultant all over, and this is one of her featured products that she sells as well. So she's helping us tap that market, whereas my efforts on social media aren't going to be as effective for that clientele. And so I'm still, I guess, reaching more of that younger to middle-aged demographic, and relationships like I have with this consultant are helping me reach that aging demographic, which really is my biggest customer base right now.
All of those demographics make sense, like intuitively, as people who might be interested in this. It strikes me as you're talking through the different options, like working through chiropractors makes a lot of sense, or there's going to be overlap in sort of how people see the world and what inputs they want. It also strikes me that like everybody who goes and shops at the Willie Street Co-op would be in one of your target markets.
Sure.
I mean, are distributors in that space, like there are national food co-ops everywhere, are they on your radar? Or?
They are definitely on my radar. So Willie Street, I was hoping to get involved with as one of their featured new businesses. Yeah. And so I have recently made a connection with someone to help me make a connection with them, because on their form they do say if you're selling wholesale anywhere else, we may not be for you, as far as like their new business program. I'm hoping they would make an exception, because our wholesale accounts are still very warm market, very small. And but they're definitely on my radar. That's within our 1 year. That is my goal, is to get on the shelves of Willie Street Co-op. And of course, eventually, I have this 5-year goal to get on the shelves of Whole Foods. But there's a lot of ground to cover between now and then, and a lot of that is going to be exposure based.
Are you shipping your customer direct products out of your home, or using a drop shipper right now?
We're shipping them directly.
Okay, then it might be, to your point about Amazon, Shopify can connect directly to Amazon so that they do all of your fulfillment. There are some costs associated with that. I've sold a bunch of things on there, and there's tools that allow you to, A, see exactly how much Amazon's take is based upon size, weight, storage, and other things. And 2, to do some evaluation of, based upon closely aligned competitors, how many products per month that they're selling. So you can do it to take a look, saying, is it economically viable based upon the numbers versus just guessing and trying. And additionally, it gets you a great amount of time back, because if you're packaging things at home, Amazon takes care of all that. Plus, they have better rates with UPS than you'll ever get. Insofar as Whole Foods is concerned, each store manager has a great amount of latitude about the products they can carry in their stores. So I wouldn't start at corporate, I'd start at individual stores, and I'd hit a bunch of those up to see if any of those managers is aligned to your sort of product.
I did visit the Madison Whole Foods on the west side, and what they had shared was that it went from being individual to more regionalized now. So it does still have to be accepted by a region of stores, but it's still much easier than Whole Foods in general. So we'd start Madison, Milwaukee, and then eventually Minnesota, and then Chicago, and going from there. But that's a great lead. My question for you with Amazon, do you find that products that are lesser known brands like mine, but comparable products, get lost because people aren't searching for them?
You don't, I mean, they need to be searching for at least something similar on Amazon, and that really comes up with, if you could identify the 3 or 4 products that are in the same categories that people would be searching for, and then play the game of doing your keywords in such a way that when somebody's looking for them, they also find you.
Great.
Speaking of scaling into Amazon, do you have a shelf life on the product?
Yes, so our shelf life, we say conservatively, is 24 months on these. Because there's no water in the product, there is not the same risk of mold or yeast that you would find with other standard skincare products. The risk is oxidation, and so we include the vitamin E, and then a lot of our essential oils work against oxidation as well. So the biochemist that I do work with, she has tested her own products that are oil-based, similar to mine, and 6-7 years out, they still don't have any sort of deterioration. So conservatively, we say 24 months.
More personal question. Well, this is, sorry. No, I'm asking it now. So I was just interested in your manufacturing process. Is this in the kitchen or?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Right now, because of our scale, we are still out of our home. I am pursuing a grant right now that would allow us to convert our garage space into a professional workshop and warehousing solution. Right now, we use designated equipment that's not used for anything other than making butters, but just having that separation from my breakfast area is going to be something very appealing to us. So that's something we are also hoping to do within the next year.
So kind of to piggyback off that, how much product can you make at once? And I'm not super familiar with a lot of the, some of the ingredients. Is there a long lead time to get some of that, or how often are you finding yourself making the product?
So recently I partnered with a distributor for natural ingredients out of Brazil, Celebracio Vitae, and for them, there's a little bit more lead time, but for many reasons, I think it's worth it. If we were to, let's say, today, have a business be like, hey, we want 30 cases of your butters, and we want to, we would need a couple of weeks for that, probably just to make sure we have the ingredients and the time. That's one of the benefits for us of converting our garage space, is being able to get larger equipment to help us make larger batches. Right now, in a day, if I were to be able to focus just on making batches of butter, conservatively probably about 120 a day I could put out. And then where I'm looking to kind of cut time and save that is going to be in packaging. Right now I also hand label all my jars and it's heat seal them and everything. So I do have a solution that would do that for me that I'm looking to pursue. But again, it's kind of circular. You can't fulfill those huge, large orders until you have the money from those huge, large orders to fulfill them. So we're still pretty homegrown right now.
Are there any, when you're talking about the wholesalers, do they impose any restrictions on your business or your products that you have to adhere to sell to them so that they can sell it?
Sure. We haven't come across that yet. We know that we may end up having to have a conversation like that at some point. So far, the wholesalers that we have spoken to are okay with the fact that we have a subscription club, for example. That was an area where I saw the potential for the most contention, because we're going to always offer our products at 20% off, and maybe they're not. But I do think we're reaching a different audience, that local health store versus my e-commerce site with their subscription club. So far, so good as far as my relationships with the retailers, so we haven't had to cross that bridge yet.
Do you see yourself expanding back out into more products in the future, or do you really think where you're at is a good, solid way to, like, what's 2.0?
Yeah. I don't, and I have a lot of our old customers asking us to re-expand into our old products, but I don't think that's the direction we're going to go, mostly because other people are already doing all of that. We're making organic facials and lip balms and essential oil rollers. Those are being done. And in many cases, those are being done better than I could do them. And I recognize that. For the same reason we don't make soap or bath bombs, because it's done. The next step for us is we are going to be releasing tins of our butters that are going to make it great for travel or sampling for people who don't want to commit $22.50 to a jar of butter they don't know if they're going to like yet. And so that is going to hopefully be rolling out pretty soon, having kits of 1-ounce butters. That's the next stage.
I viewed your website yesterday, and the very first thing that flew up in my face was a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen for everybody right now if they go to there?
It does, yeah, to follow us on social media.
Right. So, so it was, if I did something, then I would get the discount?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was just like 15%, here you go. And the caution I would give is that was my very first experience to your product. I was brought there because of the 1 Million Cups presentation. I see a discount, and that kind of lessens, for me, it lessens the product a little bit, saying, oh, well, there's a discount. Because if I buy in, I think consumers have been trained so much that if a product does offer discounts, they're going to wait for those discounts to buy again.
Sure.
And keep looking for those. Whereas other items, like high-end items, I have items that it's always been the same price. I mean, as soon as I need it, I just buy it, I don't wait. Other items, like on Amazon, I'll throw them in my cart and I'll just watch, because the prices just keep changing. And once it gets really low, then I'll buy it. So my caution on that is unless it's working really well for you, I had 2 different experiences. The first was that 15% thrown right away in my very first impression. Then I saw the subscription thing for 20%, and for me, that made sense, because it's saying, if I buy into you, I'm going to get something. So it's really a win-win. I'm going to be a long-term buy-in, and therefore I'm going to get a discount. That seemed to make sense. I would focus on channeling more towards that and less of the upfront discounting of your product.
Sure.
Because especially if you want to be known as being, a high-end, high-quality product, it immediately cut it down a little bit for me when I saw the discount.
No, and that makes sense. And we have 3, I guess, discount programs that we are always running. One is to follow us on social media, and that saves you that initial discount. Then the subscription club, and then if you sign up to join our Insiders Club, that gives you a code for 10% off any of our single butters at any time. So those are our 3 programs. And I apologize, I thought I had changed that pop-up so it was kind of hidden in the corner, and then it wasn't something that just jumped at you, because that's obnoxious to me.
It hit me immediately,
Okay,
so
so I
that
will
was
look
the
into
very
that.
first reaction.
Okay, no, but that's a good point.
And I personally would, if you really feel like if you want to try to bait people into doing stuff on social media, I would reward somebody that actually seems to be generating a buzz for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for following, there's nothing to do in that really. Making sure that you're getting some sort of return on it if they're posting or whatever else, reaching out and saying, I guess rewarding people.
Okay.
Would be a good way, because that would generate maybe more buzz.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good idea if somebody does post just to follow up and say, hey, thank you for your engagement. I just wanted to give you a little gift of 20% off your next purchase.
Publicly. And then other people will be like, oh, maybe I should do that, right? That draws them into doing the same thing and trying to copycat.
Sure. The motivation behind offering that was because we were trying to build our social media presence. And I know I'll follow brands. I'm like, oh, that looks sweet. Oh, they only have like 80 people liking their Facebook page. They must not be legit, And so trying to build that a bit more to gain that credibility.
Has it worked?
It has. I mean, when people are looking to buy, they want that discounts, they like our stuff. And again, whether or not they're engaging with it, that trade-off as well, that's another person that's going to then impress somebody else coming to our site. It had been kind of the mentality of that, but no, I'll
But I'm just wondering also with follow-on business, when they don't have that discount, are they still buying? Is that first one enough to hook them, or are they now looking for more discounts?
Well, then you can get the subscription discount. If you're repurchasing, then you can kind of actually up it. So I like that your subscription discount is deeper than that initial purchase, because otherwise it feels like your cable bill, right? Where like, why did I get a good deal first and now I'm paying more? So.
A lot of businesses do it the wrong way, right? They give you all these incentives to start with them, but those long-term customers, are paying top dollar, and they're not keeping them around.
Yeah.
So a few things I did get the pop-up.
Okay.
I clicked follow, and then I clicked I don't want to follow, and I got back to your site, and I got the code.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Also,
flawed system.
I might be trying to get the best deal possible. Whenever I see subscribe and save anywhere, I subscribe and then cancel immediately. And I'm just trying to get the best deal, and so I see that as, well, I'm not getting the best deal unless I have to go through this workflow to subscribe, get the product, and then unsubscribe, which you can do right away. And most people probably don't go through the effort. Call me cheap, I don't know. But that's another thing, just piggybacking on that the value isn't there if it's right in your face.
No, and that's a great point, and I will take that into consideration. I'm kind of tired of that pop-up myself. So the subscribe strategy for us was that, most people will forget, or they'll let it go once or twice or 3 times before they remember to cancel. And our margins are still good even at that 20%, so that I'm not really, I used to run sales all the time for 20% off before I did the subscription club, and so that's where most of our sales are coming in at anyways. So for us, that was kind of our strategy. If we can get them a couple months before they...
Are you tracking that? If the people like me that cancel immediately?
Yep.
Okay.
So I do have that showing to me. So shame on anyone, I know who you are. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'd love for you guys to try some if you are interested in checking it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Let's stop.